Today, we're gonna be talking about speed.
Your teacher wants you to go slow, and she's wrong, because it's the fastest who gets paid, and it's the fastest who gets laid.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Danny, and this is Drum Science, the show where we go in depth about all things drums. I got a question from my man Flues3, and he asked, hand speed. You look like you have really fast hands. If you got any tips on that? Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'm definitely not the fastest drummer. I'm not the best drummer by any means, but I do think that I do have some pointers that could help the newbies out there, the new drummers, that I think could really be helpful. So let's get into it. And by the way, yes, thank you so much for the question. This is what Drum Science is all about. So don't be shy. Please leave a comment if you think that I can help your drumming in any way. Alright, I'm going to post a couple of exercises at the end of this video, but before that, I'm going to do a bit of talking. So if you don't think you can handle it, feel free to skip ahead, but I encourage you not to, because I think this stuff is so important. The number one thing, patience. If you want to be blazing fast, I gotta be honest with you guys, it's not gonna happen overnight. You gotta really put the work in. You gotta get in there practicing every day, because repetitive motion is gonna be your best friend here. Without even noticing, you're gonna develop the speed and the chops that you wish you had, and you will get there. Time is gonna go by whether you practice or not. So a year from now, aren't you gonna wish that you'd been practicing every day? You could be 10 times faster. You just gotta really grind, and it takes hard work and patience. By the way, if you just stumbled upon this video and you're not even a drummer, this stuff just happens to be what it takes to develop any skill. So you're welcome. I just gave you a life lesson. Both free. And another piece of advice that I must give is start slow. Start slow, and with patience, you will get faster over time. All right, the next thing is use a metronome. This might be the most important step, because look, in my opinion, speed is like one of the least important factors of what makes a great drummer. Before that, it's super important to dial in timing, rhythm, tempo, groove, pocket. Those are all synonyms for themselves, but it's fine. Anyway, I recommend using a metronome because how else are you gonna know? You could be playing within a 20 BPM margin during your practice session and not even know it. It's important to push yourself, like at the end of a session, just go as fast as you can to, find out, test yourself, test your limits, find out how fast you can go. But for the bulk of your practice, you're gonna wanna be using a click. That way you can keep track of how fast you're going, what you're doing. Maybe you need to slow down because you're messing up a lot. All right, now we'll get into the more technical stuff, the hand building things. It's really important for you guys to be comfortable holding your sticks. The more you play, the better you'll get automatically, but really be aware of what your hands are doing, where they are on the stick, how they're moving, how much bounce you're getting, and really developing your own personal awareness of how you do you. Because everybody's got different techniques. Some people play completely supinated, some people hold a more neutral grip. Where you hold the stick, I tend to choke up on the stick a lot. That's just my personal preference. That's what works for me. That's how I like it. But you really got to find out what works for you. And you do this by just hammering it, just playing a lot, and really paying attention to what your hands are doing and where you feel comfortable. Next, I do recommend working on both wrist movements and finger, because with your wrists, that's when you're playing slower stuff, you're grooving on the hi-hat, maybe a shuffle with some accented. With your wrist, that's where you get the most power. But when you want to get into the really fast stuff, you got to learn how to develop your fingers. Alright, so finally, I'm gonna take you through a little practice routine that I enjoy doing to build up my fingers, and it's super simple, because, look, here's the thing. You could have the exercise itself is far less important than actually doing the work. People want to have fast hands in a week, and I'm thinking, what is this, the flippin' fitness industry? Basically, you can have the best practice routine ever with all the rudiments, all the tips and tricks and the secret sauce for building speed with warm-ups and downs and stretches and stuff. But if you're not actually practicing, you know, it's not gonna do anything for you, unfortunately. Really, what I'm trying to say is that anything is better than nothing. Consistency is key here, 100%. So, here's the thing. Alright, so let's get into the actual pad work that I recommend for developing your hands. Now, this first one is super basic. If you've been drumming with a teacher or just by yourself, you've probably been doing this, and if not, I'm stoked for you because this is the most simplest and honestly, in my opinion, man, it's just the best. The single, double, paradiddle progression. So just 16th notes. Start with singles, then doubles, and then paradiddles. I'm just gonna give you an example of this at like 120 BPM. Alright, and then the next one is one to develop finger speed. So what I like to do is working on one hand and then the other and then both at the same time within one phrase, if you will. 4 strokes with my right, 4 with my left, and then I'll do alternating. But it's important for this to, the first beat will be with the same hand so that it repeats on the opposite hand. I don't know why I can't explain things very well. You'll get it once I show it to you right now. And yeah, that's all I got, man. There's my tips and tricks. I'm so happy to have gotten this question. I'm stoked to be making a video about it. And like I said, this is what it's all about. So if you have any questions, please don't be shy. Leave them in the comments. If there's anything that I can do to help, that's all I want. If this video helped you out, let me know. And hit subscribe if you want to see future videos. And yeah, thanks again. I'll see you all in the next video.